there may be a case like some two modules are working fine when they were tested individually, but when they were integrated with each other, there may be a possibility that they may not work. The reason may be like the data is not flowing properly, okay, or there are some catch errors over there. So there could be some n number of reasons due to which the things could not work. Okay, so for that the developers, they need to look into the code and they have to do the rectification over there. Okay, so this is why the developers are involved. So this is known as your integration testing. Now see, I told you that once you have checked for these two, now suppose say the third needs to be combined with the second one, okay, and the second to the fourth. So now they are going to check for the second module, and then at last they are going to check for the fourth module. They are going to combine the fourth module and then they are going to check it. Okay, so once the whole system is made, then the system testing is done. Okay, and over here QA testers would be involved, or you can say this type of system testing, it is done by the QA testers. Okay, and in system you are not going to only check the functional, but you are also going to check the non-functional aspects. See, what do you mean? What do I mean when I say that you need to check for the functional plus the non-functional aspects? See, when you are giving the software or when you are going to deliver the software to the client, it should be working properly. Okay, the functionality of the software should be good. That is one point. Okay, but apart from that, the look and feel feature or the appearance or the performance of the software, it should be also good. Okay, so all those things, they count up to the non-functional aspects. Okay, suppose say my software is working properly, but it is a web-based software. Okay, it is a web-based some software which was prepared. Okay, the functionality, like function wise it is working properly, but it is taking some 10 minutes to navigate from one page to another. So are you going to say that the quality of the software is good, though it is working properly in each and every aspect? Okay, the functionalities are all working properly, but the only problem is while navigating from one page to another, for each page it is taking some 10 minutes to navigate, if I want to open any of the page or if I want to go back to the previous page. Okay, so we won't say that the quality of the software is good. Okay, so we testers, we not only will have to check the functional aspects, but we also need to check for the non-functional aspects. So that is done over here in the system testing. Okay, and the last level would be the UAT, that is the user acceptance testing, wherein the users, while they accept the things, okay, when they are going to accept the software, then they are going to do this testing. That is known as the user acceptance testing. It is also done in two ways. The first is the alpha and the second one is the beta. Okay, now in the alpha testing, the client would be coming up to the IT team, okay, and he would be checking the software sitting over there in the IT team. Okay, then we people can assist him how he has to use the software, and if there is some problem, then we are there to help him out. Okay, so this is what is alpha testing. Now under the beta testing, see, whatever software the client wants to be like whatever software the client wants to be built for him, that software he needs to send or he needs to put it in the market, right? So at the end, the end users would be the main set of people who would be using the software. Okay, so this testing is done by the end users. Okay, the actual people who are going to use the software. Okay, and if they face any problem, then they are going to contact to the client, and the client will then contact the IT team. Okay, clear with this? Yes, any problem regarding any of the points? Okay. Now after that, one more important thing needs to be covered up. That is about the white box and the black box testing. Okay. So see, the white box testing is what? There are basically two types of testing that we need to understand more about. So those are the white box and the black box testing. Now what is done under the white box and what is done under the black box? Let me just open up that slide so that I can explain you over there only. Okay, here it is. See, we just now studied that the unit and the integration testing, these types of testing are to be done by the developers, right? So they need to look into the code. Okay, so that type of testing wherein the person is looking into the code and testing for the things, that type of testing is known as the white box. Okay, so it is done by the developers, as I told you. Okay, over there, if you have to look into the code, this means that you need to have the programming skills. Okay, so the programming skills are a must over here, and this type of testing is also known as the glass box or the structural testing. Okay, and the examples are the unit and the integration, because over there the developers are involved and they have a very deep knowledge of the programming languages. Okay, and also there are some special set of very experienced testers who can also be involved sometimes, okay, who have the knowledge of the code, okay, over there in the integration testing, not in the unit testing, but in the integration testing, if there are some like major defects which are coming over there, there is a major problem, then in integration testing, those set of testers can be involved who have the knowledge of code, and that type of testers or those special testers are known as the white box testers. The reason is very simple. The name came from white box testing only because they have the knowledge of the code. They know the programming skills. Okay, so those testers are known as the white box testers. But basically, we testers, we don't have to look into the code. So we are doing a type of a black box testing. Okay, what exactly we are doing is we are going to give the input to the system. Okay, and we'll check that whether the output is proper or not. So this is what is done in the white box testing. Okay, so it is done by the testing team and the users, wherein no development skills are required or no programming skills are required. It is also known as the closed box or the behavioral testing. Why behavioral? Because you are checking the behavior of the software. Okay, and the example are the system and the acceptance testing, because the users also they don't know the code, and also they don't have the knowledge of the code. They are just going to give the input and checking the output. Okay, similarly, we testers also are going to give the input and checking that whether the output is proper or not. Okay, so that is black box testing. Okay, so that was about the white box and the black box. Now the last thing that is remaining here is the retesting and the regression testing. Okay, before that, let me just take a Prasanna's question now. The document which you sent HRM doc is the test plan document. No, no Prasanna, that is not the test plan document, that is the SRS. Okay, that is the system requirement specification document. Okay, Prasanna? Yes, you need to write down the test cases by reading the document only. That is a type of a requirement document which you would be getting in the IT industry also. Okay, you would be getting a similar type of requirement document for each project. Okay, though the requirements would be different obviously, but the document would be looking like this only, somewhat like this. Okay, and by reading the document only you need to write down the test cases. Yes, you can yes, you will execute the test cases only when the software is ready by the development team. Okay, but by that time you need to be ready with the test cases. Yes, Santosh, I would send the document. Okay, yes, you were new. You are new to the batch. Okay, I will send the documents to you as well. Okay. Okay, then retesting and regression testing. Let us discuss about it. See, suppose say like we have the data flow diagram like this. Okay, which is created by your architect. Okay, this is the first module, then this is the second module, and suppose say, there are some 6 modules, okay, which are there in the software, and the DFD or the data flow diagram for that is like this, which is created by the architect. Now, while testing this software, you came across that there is an error in the third module. Okay, there was an error present over here. Now what you need to do is, you need to report it to the developer or to the development team. Okay, what they will do, they will rectify the error. Okay, they will have a look to it and will rectify the error. Okay, and once they have rectified it, they will again give it back to the testing team to test that whether it is now working properly or not. Okay, so this type of testing that you are going to do once the errors are rectified. Okay, so that testing would be known as your retesting, because you are again testing that whether the software or the part, sorry, not the software, the part of the software which was previously not working properly, okay, now whether it is working properly or not once the developer has fixed the defect. Okay, so you are again going to test the same module, that whether it is now working properly or not. So that type of testing would be known as your retesting. Okay, clear up till this point? Now see, so this was retesting, but we, like, if there was an error over here, okay, it is rectified, you have tested it, now it is working properly, like you have retested it, I would say. So you have done the retesting, now it is working properly. Okay, this is all good. But it may also be the case that the changes, because if he has to, like, if the developer has to rectify the error, okay, if he has to fix the things which were working, which were not working fine over here, means he has to do some fixing, he has to do some changes in the code for that. Okay, and while doing the changes, now there can be a possibility that those changes are working fine over here, okay, for this module, but these changes, they may have affected the dependent module. Now over here the dependent module for third is the sixth one, right? Sixth is getting its flow from the third module, right? Previously the sixth was working, the sixth module, it was working fine, but once the changes are done in the third module, you need to check that the dependent module is also working fine as it was previously working. Okay, why you need to again check the sixth one? The reason is very simple, because the developer must have done the changes in order to fix the error over here. Okay, and those changes, they may affect, I'm not saying that it will always affect, but they may affect the dependent module in a negative manner. Just to make sure that the dependent module is not getting affected in the negative manner, you need to again check the dependent module, and that type of testing is known as your regression testing. Okay, I'll again repeat one more time over here. See, you are going to check each and every module. Okay, once the software is delivered to you in the testing team, so you are going to test each and every module. Okay, you checked for all the modules. Okay, so the fourth is working fine, fifth, second, first, sixth is also working fine. Only there was an error in the third module. So what did you do? You reported to the development team. They have done some changes onto the module. Okay, and they have again give it to the testing team to test it. Okay, so that type of testing, when you are again going to test this third module, okay, after the fixes are done, so that type of testing is known as your retesting. Okay, but after retesting, it becomes important that you need that you check that whether the dependent modules which were previously working fine are again working in the same manner. Okay, they are like working fine now also after the changes are done. Clear? Once you have done the changes, once the developer he has done some changes, just to cross verify that these changes are not affecting the dependent module in a negative manner, you need to do one more testing, and that testing is the regression testing. Clear with this thing? Yes, Santosh? Okay, Kusuma, you are also new to the batch, okay? So, are you able to understand this thing?
Yeah, I am able to understand you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay then. So, this is all about the things that were covered previously. Okay, and apart from that, I would be like, for the people who are already in the batch, they have done the test case